What are you confident Zeke Nnaji can do consistently?
That he can provide energy and that he can bring defensive versatility, that he can move his feet and he can be disruptive.
All right, fellas, the player preview series rolls on, and it's time to take a look at a position of need, concern, confusion. The backup center slot. Zeke Nnaji, DeAndre Jordan. Who's going to win it out? Who's going to start out as that backup center?
They put the big guys on this one.
I've got my friends Eric Weedham, Superstar Dev, to help break it down. Fellas, let's not waste any time because we have a big question to answer. So many questions about this player, Zeke Nnaji. And the question today is, what are you confident Zeke Nnaji can do consistently? Eric, what are you already confident in one of the more unknown players on the roster?
That he can provide energy and that he can bring defensive versatility, that he can move his feet and he can be disruptive. Zeke is a guy that, like, we've seen. There was a genius once I worked with who dubbed when Zeke Nnaji would play well as Tenacious Zeke.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
When Zeke is tenacious, Zeke has real utility in this league. He is an undersized center. He's an undersized 5. It's like not clear that he should even play center.
Right.
And frankly, like, oftentimes it puts him in a bad position. But when the matchup is right and when the situation is right, like, he has shown that his footwork alone is enough to be able to be at least useful for the Denver Nuggets.
Dev, what are you confident that Zeke Nnaji can do consistently?
Well, when I was looking at movies to watch and just dynamic duos, this one came up for me. It was about Men in Black.
Wow, what a dynamic duo! There was Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
Yeah, there was a lover boy that everyone appreciated, and then there was like an old grumpy man that wanted to show the guys the ropes.
Right,
he was doing it himself because he has such a great pass, and that's what you get with DeAndre.
Seen the film.
Now back to your question about what can Zeke do consistently. I think that he can run the pick and roll really well and grab every single rebound that comes his way. If he is that tenacious Zeke, that's how you carve out more time, because with DeAndre Jordan, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get great rebounds every single time. You might not get the energy, but he is going to be able to do the things that you need. Now, can you get that on Zeke, who, if he because he already has the intangibles, if he puts it all together, it's going to be hard to keep him off of being that backup point center.
One thing that I find interesting and perhaps concerning is that neither of you said his shot, which at one point in his career might have been the obvious answer.
Right,
but
you
can it be now?
But you said consistently.
Sure,
that's the issue. It's that it's not that he can't shoot it. It's that can he shoot it well tonight?
Right.
Zeke's shot has been a focus of conversation. We've talked about the reformation of Zeke's shot. We've talked about the hitch. We've talked about exploring his game. When he first came into the Denver Nuggets world, like, it seemed like he was very legitimately, at least a stretch, if not 4, a stretch 5, that his three-point shot was something that you could rely upon. It looked smoother than most other guys his size, but through injury, through lack of playing time, losing rhythm, et cetera, it's like you don't really expect it to go in, even though it goes in at like a reasonable clip for a guy his size. He does have a pretty stroke, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's the consistent part that throws that off. Like, that's why I wouldn't bring it up.
In theory, we'll find out a lot about Zeke this year. One of seemingly 2 options at the backup center, Zeke or DeAndre Jordan. But, gentlemen, what about a third? Is it realistic to play both of these guys interchangeably depending on the matchup? To find that answer, to get to the bottom of this, we're going to bring in a good friend of the show, Judge D-Line.
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Welcome. Oh, wow. Just seeing myself on the screen for the first time. This is horrifying. Welcome to the court of Judge D-Line. Today we are here to find out whether or not the 2 backup 5s are actually, in essence, 1 backup 5. Can they be played interchangeably to get to the Nuggets to the place they need to be? Please argue your case.
Your Honor, I'm here to argue that is a terrible idea, and I don't.
Me putting on this wig? Couldn't agree more.
That's what I was starting with, but also going back and forth with the backup centers. First of all, while I have great respect for what DeAndre Jordan has brought to this roster and this organization, I also remain skeptical about what he can bring to the team on the court in the year 2023 and 2024 of our Lord. But also, I just wonder if that is not the best thing for Zeke Nnaji, which in turn is not the best thing for the Denver Nuggets. At some point, you got to figure out what Zeke is. The best way to do that is play him. And whether he's your backup center in the playoffs or he's an asset at the trade deadline, you need to know the best way is to play him as much as possible. I don't think you're doing yourself or the young man, Mr. Nnaji, any favors if you go back and forth. I rest my case.
Wow. Dev, please. Barrister Dev, if you wouldn't mind. Argue the opposite side of that.
Can I approach the bench? No?
By no means, no. Absolutely
Sorry.
not. No.
Absolutely.
You got to ask. Well, I think that it could happen. I really do think that it could happen because when you look at these matchups, the backup centers, they have the bigger guys. They have Andre Drummond, who's a Hall of Famer in his own right.
Sure.
You can't put Zeke Nnaji against those type of guys. There's going to call for some nights that you have to have them out there. And then also the best part about, having Zeke Nnaji alongside DeAndre Jordan, it means that Zeke doesn't have to play the 5 every single time. That was what he strived at, was being a power forward because he did have the shot. He does have the shooting stroke. He, does all the things that you need in setting the pick and rolls, and he knows how to work that too, man. But I just think that that's a way that you could get him off of the 5s and not on those taller guys because I think that he has the strength now because that's something that he's worked on. But it just gives him the ability to roam, and I think that him as a roamer would be great. And then also having him as just not the center option, but another option on the court, I think that it works.
Wow, those are two exquisitely well-argued cases. Obviously, Brendan Vogt was so deeply wrong. There's no chance that was the right answer. It doesn't matter how well he argued it. I want to find in favor of Dev. Of course they should play interchangeably. There are times we saw already in this preseason, Barrister Dev brings up the case of
Andre
Drummond, where Zeke was absolutely brutalized, but just because he's a bigger bodied guy. Like DeAndre Jordan still can play at a reasonable level in this league, but he can't be the guy that you rely on at this stage in his career. The beautiful thing about the Denver Nuggets and having depth and why it's so enviable is because it allows you to play matchups and to put the best 5 on the court at any given time, which includes both DeAndre Jordan and Zeke Nnaji. Hang your head in shame, you lose.
Yeah, also, I've been watching Suits and The Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah. I didn't have a chance. Your Honor, can I submit one last statement to the court?
Fine.
You look ridiculous.
I look terrible.
All right, let's get D-Line, the real D-Line, back in here.
That judge, I liked him. That was the guy for me.
Yeah, he didn't seem to like me very much. All right, gentlemen, let's close out the backup center preview here with how we like to close out all of our previews. Let's get bold. Superstar Dev, do you have a bold prediction for either Zeke or DeAndre or both?
I'm going to go with Zeke first, or I'll just go with Zeke. I think that Zeke is a formidable backup, and I think that he's going to get back to his shooting numbers. We're going to see the shooting go back up, but not only are we going to see the shooting go back up, I think that he's going to have a career year from rebounding. I think that that's just a time for him to get more time as the backup center. I think that that's what they're going to go with. And we've been talking about a long time of like, is this Zeke's year? Is this the time that he gets more minutes? And I think now is better than ever that he's going to have his career year.
What say you, D-Line?
My bold prediction is that Zeke has a very solid season at backup 5 and DeAndre Jordan is used sparingly. That the Nuggets finally are able to actually rely on Zeke Nnaji, that he's able to, because of that same reason, find some stability, not only in his rhythm and his play, but actually his body and like being able to stay on the court because he's in the rhythm of playing regularly and his body is able to sort of like adjust to that. I just think that this is the year of Zeke Nnaji.
Two mild takes. I'm going to spice it up here to close out. The Denver Nuggets will have to make a trade to figure out this position. I know it's kind of a bummer. But at least it's bold.
Do they trade Zeke Nnaji?
You just have to watch the season to find out. This is only a preview, Eric.
I thought. Wait, hold on. I thought we were not bold enough.
We all silly like the mayor.